Good evening, everyone. I want to call to order this public hearing on Bylaw 693. Just gavel us in. Councillor Gray.
Thanks very much, Councillor Shukin. I just to say I'm going to recuse myself from the meeting as I'm an owner of one of the subject properties, 4397 Metchosin.
Great.
So I'll leave it to you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gray. Okay. Great. Just wait till Councillor Gray leaves the room. So this public hearing is being held pursuant to Section 464 of the Local Government Act to consider the following proposed bylaw, which is Metchosin Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 693. The general purpose of Bylaw 693 is to rectify a procedural error from 2010 when Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 565 was adopted to introduce a new village land use designation with supporting mapping, policies, objectives, and a development permit area for properties in the village center. Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 693 proposes to reenact the amendments introduced in the 2010 Official Community Plan Bylaw 565 and introduces minor housekeeping amendments such as clarification regarding maps, updated references to legislation, and minor changes to the drafting language to improve clarity. Endorsement of Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 693 has been received from the Agricultural Land Commission. So to clarify, Bylaw 693 does not change the zoning on a property for any village designated property to be used for commercial purposes or residential use beyond one dwelling per lot plus one secondary suite would still require application to the Agricultural Land Commission for the lands within the ALR, the Agricultural Land Reserve, either for exclusion or for non-farm use, a rezoning if the proposed use does not fit under the property's current zoning, a development permit for a commercial development. At this public hearing, any person who believes that their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw shall be given an opportunity to be heard on matters contained in this bylaw. However, it is important that all who speak at this public hearing restrict their remarks to matters contained in the bylaw, and it is my responsibility as chair of this hearing to ensure that all remarks are so restricted. Those of you who wish to speak concerning the bylaw should, at the appropriate time, commence your address to council and public hearing by clearly stating your names and street name for the record. Then you may give us the benefit of your views concerning the bylaw. It should be noted that this public hearing is being recorded and web streamed live, and the recording will be posted to the website. So members of council may, if they wish, ask questions of those who present following the presentation. However, the main function of council for this evening is to listen to the views of public. It is not the function of council at this public hearing to debate the merits of the bylaw with individual citizens. Everyone who deems their interest in property to be affected should be given the opportunity to be heard at this hearing. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making their views known. If you wish to provide a written submission to be included in the record of this public hearing, you must hand the submission to the corporate officer prior to the close of the public hearing. Once the public hearing has been adjourned, council is not able to receive any further information from the public on this matter. As a matter of information, Bylaw 693 is on the council meeting agenda for consideration later this evening. Please be reminded that there will be no opportunity to speak to the bylaw at that time. The opportunity to speak is now. During the course of a public hearing, the issues that we're discussing may lead to enthusiastic or emotional statements. Regardless of whether you favor or oppose any argument, please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion. Such restraint better enables views to be expressed and heard in an impartial forum. So thank you very much for enduring that. The next I would like to ask our Deputy Corporate Officer if she has received any further correspondence other than that in the package.
Through the chair, there have been no additional submissions to enter into the record.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Hanson. Really quickly, before we get to public input, I just want to clarify the purpose of the bylaw. So we are correcting a procedural area in that the provisions of the original bylaw, the 2010 OCP amendment, Bylaw 565, those are being repealed and reenacted to ensure that the ALC, the Agricultural Land Commission, has been given the opportunity to respond and pass a resolution relating to the village section in the OCP. Staff have included some housekeeping amendments to the bylaw to improve clarity and to ensure that references to the Local Government Act are updated. No substantive changes have been proposed from the 2010 OCP amendment bylaw. And so with that, I would now like to open the hearing for public input. And again, anyone wishing to speak may do so by coming to the podium, stating your name and your street name for the public record. Comments will be limited to 4 minutes, and you'll be given a 30-second notice prior to reaching that time limit.
Good evening. I will break the ice. Ellen Frisch, Perry Road, Perry Cross Road. I support this amendment. I think it's really important for the community to move forward on. My observation in the last number of years, though, and this update does not seem to address that, and that is the fact that non-farm use permit applications are still required for any activity on the lands in the village core. And my experience with the ALC the last few years is they're woefully understaffed and things are just taking way too long to move through. So in your question of who's interested in land, I guess it's my interest as a community member, because I know that the municipality has to spend money preparing non-farm use applications, and then they are there for quite a long time. I think most recently the application to raise the fire practice tower that was bought from Fort St. John, I don't believe we have a decision yet on the non-farm use for that. So we have some real basic core activities that we would need to happen in the village core, which this amendment doesn't do yet. So I would advocate in the future even considering an ALC exclusion application for the village core lands to help facilitate making the vision happen in a more expedient way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fritsch. So I will now call a second time for those who wish to provide public input into Metchosin Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 693. And I will say again that if you wish to speak for or against the bylaw or lend us your thoughts and views, please address council by stating your name and your street name for the public record. Okay, well, thank you. I will now call a third and final time of anyone who wishes to provide input to council on this matter. Again, Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 693. I will ask for those who wish to provide us for input for a third and final time. Okay. Being as there appear to be no further speakers, and no further input into Bylaw 693, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this public hearing.
Motion to adjourn.
Moved by Councillor Donaldson and seconded by Councillor Epp, and all in favor. And that is carried. Thank you. That the public hearing is now closed. Thank you.